Hello my girls, welcome to this tutorial on how I got this quick weave bob. We are starting off with prepping the scalp. This sacred stuff is really good, y'all. Like, I didn't want to like it because it's a little pricey, but it's really good. So I started off with spraying the scalp refreshing spray on my scalp, obviously, and then after that I went in with this balm and just put that in my parts, like you would do like some old-fashioned grease. Okay, my head did not itch for like a week using this stuff, so I highly recommend it. This right here is just me showing y'all how I molded down the side of my head, or rather one side of my head, and then I'm showing y'all step by step how I'm doing the other side. I'm only breaking this side down into parts because it had like more hair on it because I was doing the side part. And so I wanted to make sure that my foundation was flat as possible. So if you have like a finer texture, or your hair just gets a little straighter than mine with a blow dryer, you don't have to do it in sections. But this is how I ensured that my foundation for my quick weave was super duper flat, because nobody want a bumpy quick weave, especially not a bob, because you don't have that much hair on your head to like cover up any mistakes. So we got to make sure that the foundation is flat. This is also really good for my beginners. If you don't know how to braid or you just don't feel like braiding, girl, go ahead and get you some molding gel, a good hard brush, and just mold your hair down like this. I actually recommend this more than doing braids because you don't have like that liquid cap touching your scalp. So right here, I'm just showing y'all the wig cap that I use. You can use any color cap that you want, but I recommend something closest to the color hair that you're using. And y'all can also see that I'm taking the hair tie off because I don't want those braids to be tight up underneath my cap. I just put those on initially to hold the braids in place. And then after that, you kind of want to take those off and then just tuck your braids in. I'm also cutting a hole around my ear just to pull my ears through. And then I'm mapping out my leave out right here with the white eyeliner. So I'm using this Red by Kiss liquid cap, and I also use their glue. I love both of them, but you can use whatever kind of liquid cap and glue that you want to. I just recommend this brand because there is no smell on these products, and I love that. After that, I went and sat underneath the dryer because you want to make sure that your liquid cap is completely dry before you start gluing on tracks. So I glued my tracks on my head. The first couple of rows I just do straight across, and then once I get above my ear, I start laying my tracks in this U shape. That is because I was doing a side part and I wanted it to fall in my face and kind of have like a little shape to it in the front. So if you are somebody who does not want that, or you're doing a middle part bob, you don't necessarily have to do it. You can just lay your tracks straight across. However, my preference was to have the hair kind of in my face so that I can have some sort of bang. So once I got above my ear, I just start shaping my tracks and placing them in this U shape like you're seeing right now. And then you want to hold the track for a few seconds to let that glue get tacky, and then blow dry it for a couple of seconds just to make sure that it's not going anywhere. Next, I am cutting off the excess cap. Now, I recommend that you actually do this before you start gluing down the tracks, but you can do whatever you want to do. I know that next time I do this, I will be cutting off the excess cap from my leave out before I start gluing down the tracks, because it kind of just makes more sense, and it ensures that you don't cut your natural hair. So before I started cutting my hair, I actually straightened it. You want to make sure that your hair is straight as possible before you start chopping away at it. Another tip that I have is to make sure that you are actually cutting your bob longer than you want it, just to make sure that you don't cut off too much hair initially. And so I started at the front of my face, and then I kind of just started combing the hair in the back to the front and just aligning it with the hair that I already cut, just to make sure that I got an even cut. But I will not lie to y'all, this cut was so difficult. I think cutting this bob evenly took me probably all in all like 45 minutes, because I had to keep going back and forth with the scissors and then combing it, and then going back in with the scissors, combing it, going in with the clippers, and then one side was shorter than the other, one side was longer, or I had like one piece that was just sticking out that was uneven. So it was really difficult for me, but I got it done, y'all, and I'm still posting a video because I want my divas to know that you don't always have to know how to do something. Sometimes you just gotta try, okay? Go get you some affordable pack hair and just practice, okay? You don't have to know how to do everything. I don't know how to do everything, but as you can see, I got the job done. So right here, I'm kind of matching up the side with the bang with the other side that I had already cut, and I'm just going in with those shears and just matching it up as best as I can. And you can probably tell like right here and in the next few clips that I was having a hard time with the back, y'all. Like I was trying to flip it upwards and cut it like that, and it was not working. So that's why it took me so long, but y'all can see that I ended up making it work. And that's what doing your own beauty maintenance is about. Sometimes you just got to figure it out and make it work. Right here, I'm using these clippers, and you can actually see how I turned around, and I was like, no, that's not gonna work, because at one point it wasn't. I just had almost cut out a chunk of my hair, and I was like, yeah, let me put those down. I did end up using them again towards like the end just to make a couple other pieces even, but overall I just used my scissors. And then y'all can actually see at the top right here, like I cut a chunk of hair out. Girl, listen, I ended up covering it okay. You can probably still see it if you look hard enough, but it's not that bad. Like I covered it up enough, okay? And right here, I'm just going back and cutting my bang a little bit shorter because I wanted it to be a little bit more like choppy. And then I'm just doing like the finishing touches right here, trying to make sure that like when I move my head in different directions, I still look like I have an even cut. After that, I had to shower, y'all, which is why I have on a different shirt, because a lot of that hair like got in my shirt and it was just making me itch. So right here, I'm going back and I'm bumping it, okay? The girls act like they don't know how to bump hair no more. You gotta put a little bump in a bob, okay? You don't want it curled under, but you do want a little oomph to it, okay? Or if you like your bob to be super straight, you can do that too. Do whatever you want to do. It's your hair, but I'm just showing y'all how I did mine. So next, I am taking the Nairobi styling foam, and I should have did this before I bumped my bob, but I wasn't thinking. And also, I will probably never do this again. I was just doing what I saw people on TikTok do, and I don't think it made a difference. So after that, I'm like combing my hair, and then I put this stocking cap on top, and I sat underneath the dryer for like 10 minutes. It really didn't do anything. Y'all don't have to do this, okay? So I went in with this Kenra serum on my hair. It's supposed to be like a heat protectant, and it helps your hair come out silky smooth. I really, really, really recommend the products that I used because I do not have any heat damage, y'all, and I flat ironed my leave out like 3 times, and you can't even tell that I straightened my hair. But I'm straightening my leave out, and then I'm taking this wax stick, and I'm putting some in the palm of my hands. You never want to take a wax stick to your natural hair because it just doesn't protect it. So you always want to like rub some of it on your hand, warm it up, and then put it on your natural hair. But after that, I did my makeup and I bumped it again, y'all. Bumped that little bang or whatnot. And this is pretty much how it turned out. I loved it because I actually did this style for an interview, and it gave like very natural, very much like demure, not doing too much. I love it. Let me know what y'all think down below. If you have any questions, you can also feel free to ask those. And let me know what style y'all want to see next. I think I might put like a crochet tutorial on here eventually, but it's really up to y'all. So let me know what y'all think, and I hope you subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.